Hello, my friends, everyone who is listening to the Facebook live broadcasts of the Soul Spa, regularly or not. It's Christina Juppe here again on behalf of the Soul Spa, a place where you can learn about and practice anything to do with mind, body, and spirit. And before I talk to you today about some more about affirmations, the Soul Spa in Central Bath is now open for business, is now welcoming clients and practitioners into their treatment rooms. So if you don't know the Soul Spa yet, check it out on thesoulspa.co.uk or just browse this Facebook page. My name is Christina Juppe. I'm a rapid transformational therapy practitioner and a health and well-being coach. And today is part 2 of my talk on affirmations and how to use them effectively. Last Thursday, I talked to you about what affirmations are and how to craft, to construct successful, effective affirmations. So if you're new to this subject, then why not go back to last Thursday's video and watch that. Today, part 2 is all about how to integrate affirmations more effectively into our lives. Why? Because of course, without integration of any practice, we cannot ultimately be successful. Without building them into our daily life as much as possible, they cannot give us the required results. So just to do a very quick recap of what affirmations should be. So what your affirming statements should be. They should be A, short, so you can remember them. Obviously, they should be B, in the present tense, as the mind, subconscious mind, works only in the now. They should C, be in relevant words, language to you, relevant phrasing that gets you excited, that gets you motivated. And D, they should be, most of all, be believable. Now, those are the parameters of good affirmations. However, I'd like to talk today about a way of integrating your affirmations even more into your daily life. So you're already saying them out loud on a regular basis. You may even be writing them down and repeating them in your mind's eye. So if you're practicing the 3 ways, that's brilliant. But it is at the end of the day all about the outcomes that you want, all about the results that you want. Because as my virtual mentor, so to speak, Michael Bernard Beckwith says, without action, any vision is a fantasy. However, without vision, any action is chaos. So you need both. You need the envisioning process, you're envisioning an improved outcome in a situation, and you need the relevant action. And let's just make no mistake. If you can envision something, if you can affirm something to yourself, then you can absolutely achieve it. As the saying goes, what man can conceive, he can achieve. Obviously, that's for women as well, but what we can conceive, we can achieve. Or as one of the books on my bookshelf says, imagine and you can. So whatever, in other words, you can dream up, you can absolutely achieve. So that's the premise we're starting with here in any case. How about integrating your affirmation more into your daily life? It's with a practice I like to call living the feeling. Your affirmation will, in most cases, inevitably contain a feeling with it as well, a feeling tone, if you so want. So say, for example, you have set yourself an affirmation to bring a financial prosperity into your life. And your affirmation may sound something like, I'm joyfully attracting money easily and effortlessly, even from sources that I never expected to. So that could be your affirmation. And that affirmation would be accompanied by a visual. Perhaps you're imagining your bank account building up, swelling up more every month. Perhaps you're imagining yourself going on the dream trip of your life. And that affirmation would also be accompanied by a feeling. as I said, I want to focus on the feeling tone of your affirmations today. Why? Because ultimately, what we're doing with affirmations is we're influencing the energy field, the electromagnetic field around us. We're influencing that electromagnetic field around us, the vibrational atmosphere, if you want, around us, in order to attract people, places, opportunities, ideas, etc., that match our vibration, which is the outcome we want, which is the outcome, the result we are affirming with our statement. So we want to create a strong electromagnetic field that may be weak at first if you're new to this, but becoming stronger and stronger and stronger once you start repeating your affirmation on a regular basis and with feeling. And the feeling is the key here, because ultimately this universe, if you so want, is a feeling universe. It reacts not necessarily just to the words that you say, but to the feeling that you emanate. And once you emanate that feeling strong enough, then, yes, then you will attract the right people, as I said, places and opportunities aligned with what you want, and the outcome will appear. The outcome will manifest itself. And one very good way of living the feeling is to, besides repeating your affirmation out loud, to become still at certain points in your day and just bring up the feeling that goes with your affirmation. Besides repeating the affirmation, writing it down, perhaps you do that every morning, every evening, at certain times of the day, it's important to also be still every now and again. It's important to also let the inspiration, if you want, come to you. It's important to open yourself up to the forthcoming result. It's important to open yourself up spiritually, vibrationally, to allow inspiration, impulses, ideas, etc. in. So what I'd encourage you to do, if you want to really live your affirmations, if you want to integrate them in your daily life even more, if you want to make them more impactful, then set aside regular times throughout the day. A minute is enough, whilst you're queuing, whilst you're holding on the phone, or even the time that you've set aside, and just close your eyes, and or not, if you prefer not to, and bring up the feeling that goes with the emotion. And if you have a visual to go with it, for example, I envisage my bank account with a certain amount of money, or the dream trip I'm taking myself on, which I now can afford. If you have a visual to go with it, then do that as well. Just bring up the visual, bring up the feeling most of all that goes with it, and just immerse yourself into that feeling and be still and wait for an inspiration, for an impulse, for an idea to come up. That is the point of living the feeling. Making time throughout the day to be still, or even if it's not every day, making time at regular intervals to be still, to just immerse yourself into that feeling of your affirmation with a visual perhaps, and then wait, and then just sit in it, and then see if anything comes to it. And if you're pulled towards something, if an idea comes to you, if an impulse comes to you, if an inspiration comes to you, note I'm saying comes to you, so something that you were not consciously thinking about, if something then comes to you and feels good, or you feel pulled towards it, you feel you must absolutely do it, then go for it, because that is a direct result of the vibrational offering that you are giving. So immerse yourself into your feeling of your affirmation. It's the feeling that will change the vibrations around you, and that will bring you the right people, opportunities, places, and impulses in order to bring about your outcome even faster. Now, I sometimes get people who say to me, well, I can envisage what I want, but to be honest, my feeling's not really very strong. I find it very hard to feel. Perhaps there's some resistance there still, not surprising, of course. Even though you know you can achieve what it is you want, perhaps there's some resistance. You can't just get yourself to bring up the feeling that you want to. It doesn't feel strong enough. What to do in this case? In this case, you simply do what I call an emotional transfer. So, Again, let's take the example of affirming your financial situation. You want to become financially prosperous. You've got your affirmation, but the feeling, the prosperous feeling, the well-being, the exhilaration, the joy is not quite there. You go to a situation, an area in your life where you're already feeling that feeling. So an area in your life that's already flowing. An area of your life that creates lots of well-being and joy and fulfillment and happiness inside you. You go to that area and then you stay in that area for a little bit and evoke that feeling, a really strong feeling of joy, of pride, of empowerment, of well-being. Evoke that feeling. And what you do then, you stay in that feeling, but you leave this area and you go to the affirmation that you want to transfer the feeling to. So you're still in that feeling, you go to the affirmation, you overlay the affirmational situation with that feeling. So take that feeling of your previous situation with you and just lay it as a layer on top of the affirmation and hold that feeling in your affirmation for as long as possible, even if it's just for a couple of seconds to begin with. What that will do, it will eventually serve to lay another groove in your subconscious mind, lay another neural pathway, lay a stronger neural pathway in your subconscious mind, because practice makes perfect. You do this a few times, I promise you, you will be able to associate that feeling very, very quickly. You may need to go to your ideal situation where everything's flowing back a few times and keep that feeling and then go back to your affirmation, take that feeling with you, overlay it, transfer it onto the affirmation and hold that feeling, hold your affirmation and amalgamate the two. And in no time will you do this almost automatically. And there you have it, your feeling tone to go with that particular affirmation, and you can refine that, of course. And then okay, say you say to me, well, all my areas in my life are really mediocre. I can't think of anything, but I have really strong feelings of well-being. These are uncertain times. I don't feel great. Is there anything else I can do? Yes, there is. If you don't have an area in your life that's really in the flow, that you really feel you can use for that, then just go to an activity or go to a moment that you derive great joy from, because everyone has these moments. They're just in a complete state of well-being, of gratitude. It may be simply something like looking at a lovely view. It may simply be something looking at your child sleeping whom you love. It may be a simple thing as looking at a lovely flower, or perhaps it's a friend you have, a good friend that you're very grateful for. You think of that friend, any situation or any activity. Perhaps you love listening to a particular piece of music. Any situation or activity that in you creates good feelings. Take that situation, put yourself into the situation, just like I said before, create that feeling, have it bubble up inside you, then leave that situation, transfer your feeling over to your affirmation, and off you go. I hope this has helped. I call it living in the feeling, and this particular practice I call the emotional transfer. So the emotional transfer is adding a feeling to an affirmation if there's not enough good feeling tone there in the first place, and then living in it. Not only repeating your affirmation at certain times of the day and feeling the joy that goes with it, but also just allowing for some time, some regular being still times, and just bring up the feeling of that affirmation, which you know now how to do it, and bring up that feeling and just put it out there and let the rest unfold, and let the energy go out, and let your positive energy then be matched with people, places, opportunities, inspirations, ideas, impulses. And another reason why we want to do this, just being still and thinking of the feeling, then waiting what's to come, is because we can, let's face it, we can only affirm things that we know, that we can imagine. But sometimes the universe has other plans. Sometimes our affirmation may come true in ways that we cannot even imagine right now. Our affirmation may also have beneficial effects on other areas of our lives that we cannot even imagine right now. So for that reason alone, you want to just really let the universe do its work. Be sure to keep a clean mind and a positive mind. Do your affirmation, do your spiritual work, this practice I've just taught you, and then let the universe do the rest. There may be things happening that you haven't even thought of, and isn't that exciting? Thank you very much everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions, then leave them in the comments. As I said, I am a rapid transformational therapy practitioner and a health and well-being coach. I work a lot with the power of our minds, but I also use spiritual practices in my teachings, in my methods. I also work with hypnotic recordings and guided visualizations, which are, if you so want, stronger, more intense versions of affirmations. If you're curious, then please check out my website. It's freefromyourfears.com. If you know anyone who might benefit from this video and perhaps from the last one, the part number 1 on affirmations, then please share this page. And as always, if you'd like to become a part of the Soul Spa community, then hit the sign up button and always be informed on what's happening with the Soul Spa. Christina Juppe, health and well-being coach, health and well-being coach and rapid transformational therapy RTT practitioner. Good to be with you, and I will see you next week with my next Facebook live broadcast on behalf of the Soul Spa in Bath. Bye.